Hello everyone, this is Tammy from Tammy Colors 2, and you are here, hopefully on purpose, for the next video in the Time for a Cuppa, a Celebration of Tea series. This is a coloring book by Racine, and I decided to do a picture every week and drink the tea and talk about the tea and color a picture. And I try to do that in a reasonable amount of time. So this week is video number 7. So in the past weeks, and I do leave a link to the book in the description if you are interested. We have done Assam, Boba, Ceylon, Chai, Chamomile, and last week was Dandelion. So this week we have Darjeeling. So Darjeeling tea is a tea that is grown in the Darjeeling, or grown and processed in the Darjeeling or Kalimpong districts in West Bengal, India. It is a black tea. And in my experience, it's one of the only black teas that at some points, depending on what grade you get and how it was processed, it sometimes looks like a green tea. But this is, I can pull some of it out. It often has like golden leaves in it. It is a version of orange pekoe. It's grown from a specific variety. Get tea on the book. A genus of the plant, I believe. Don't quote me on that. I am not like a tea grower. This particular brand that I have bought is from Vadam, which is a tea company that I will buy certain things from, like chais. And sometimes their stuff you can ships directly from India. Sometimes it's from Amazon. You can buy it on Amazon. You can buy it on their website. And sometimes they will ship it to you from Amazon, probably because it's cheaper, depending on where they have it, because they are in India. And this particular one, there are a lot of different styles of Darjeeling, grades, whatever. And sometimes, particularly on Darjeelings, you will see these letters, and they get ridiculous at some point. But each letter stands for a word. So it's special, finest, tippy, golden, flowery, orange pekoe 1. So like, usually the more letters, the better the tea. It is, if you smell it, it's a black tea, so it tastes like black tea. However, to describe the flavor of Darjeeling, it is earthier. It has a much earthier tone to it than regular black tea, than like your Ceylon or your Assam. And depending, I like the better grades because I find that the cheaper grades are a little too earthy, too bitter, or whatever. When it comes to Darjeeling, sometimes the more money you spend on it, the better you're going to get. That's not always true with tea. Sometimes the cheaper tea is really good. And I honestly do not put stock into how much money you pay for something. It's true, and then yet sometimes it's not true. So you just got to try it, see what you like. As you can see, we have my Star Trek mug today. If you can see my Star Trek characters. I'm an original series fan. Love my Star Trek mug. But anyway, it's a nice reddish black tea color. This particular one is not bitter at all. And it does have that earthy tinge to it. I rather like this Himalayan, and it was funny because they were having a sale on their teas, because they have all kinds of Indian grown teas, and their chais are all really good, and they have a million different varieties of chais. So check them out. They're a good source for that. Yeah, in my experience, you can't just stick with one tea company for all your tea because not everybody carries everything. So I have like 3 or 4. But they were having a sale, and it was funny because this one came with, on the package, it told me like when it was picked. So it's like, oh, it's fancy frou-frou. But this one is really good. I do like this one, and that's saying something because Darjeeling is not my favorite. I don't have many at the moment. This is the only one I have, because I don't care for them all that much. So, but I do like this one, so I'm gonna get a couple more of theirs, I believe. Now, on to the picture. So, was there anything else I wanted to tell you about the tea? Oh, it was first planted in India in the mid-1800s. Because, why? Because the English were looking to find a replacement for China. They wanted a more, a better way to get tea than just to get it from China. So, and they had, of course, taken over India in a lot of places. And I'm not really up on my English history, so I apologize. But so they were able to say, hey, we need you to grow some of this stuff, because a lot of these places, and many of them have, I forget what the term is. They're not under English rule anymore. Some of them are. I don't really remember which ones are, which ones aren't, because it's changed over time. But it's a really interesting, the history between India and the United Kingdom is very interesting. There's a very fun movie that I just watched called Victoria and, I think it was Victoria. It has Judi Dench in it. Oh, the name is it, but it's about a guy, an Indian that came to the United Kingdom, and she had lost her husband 40 years ago. Her husband died a long time ago, and she had been alone, and she always, from the day he died, I mean, she was without him for I think like 40 years, and she wore black every day after he died, which is saying something. She really did love him. And it's about her relationship, not like a relationship in that way, but he's the and it's fictional. It's about their relationship. Her fascination in him was real, and there were diaries, and there were all that. But it is an interesting story when you think about it, and he did influence a lot of her stuff. So let me see if I can find the name of it. Victoria and Abdul. Victoria and Abdul is a really good movie. It's funny. It's poignant. It's from 2017, so check it out. I really enjoyed it a lot. Of course, I love Judi Dench, and the guy that plays Abdul is Ali Fazal, and he is really funny. I like him. It was a really cute story. Like I said, fiction, historical fiction, based on a true event, true happenings. But anyway, so I have talked way too long. I have picked out some colors. I found some images of the Darjeeling area, and I also like this Twinnings Darjeeling. I like this purple. So I'm incorporating the purple into it. So I've picked out some purples, and there's a particular, when I was looking up Darjeeling, I see a lot of pictures with this train in it. This one with this blue train. And so, and it's got a little bit of red. And of course we've got the green. And so the mountains, as you can tell in the picture, the mountains figure prominently in the Darjeeling area, as you can see by all the pictures if you look them up. And there was a picture that I saw. They're very bluish. Like in all the pictures you see these very bluish mountains. And I had seen a picture, and I don't know if I can find it now, but it doesn't matter. We'll go with what we have. You know, there's this one that it shows, like, it's really cool. So I was going to kind of use that. Maybe I'll use that as an inspiration. I pulled in a yellow because, well, I don't know. I liked yellow. I think that in addition to my markers, and because, you know, I've been watching some Coloring with Kay, and it reminded me of all the mixed media that she does. So I've pulled out some, I'm not sure which one I'm going to use. These are my Calero. These are my Ting, however you say it. And they're very, very sparkly. Very gold. So we're going to have some gold in here. I feel like I need some gold leaf in here. And then I only have 3 of these. These are my Cosmic Shimmer paints that I have, because I wanted some color. So I may add some shimmery green or purple or something to some of the purple at some point. We will see. So I might add those in just to be fun. But let's see. Where do we want to start? Can I start with these mountains? I feel like I should start with the mountains. Because why? Because they're like part of the center of the picture. So, and I'll keep drinking my tea because it's actually good. But now you can see, well, now you can see more of my mug. It has all of the original series cast. It has Star Trek in there. I love it. This is one of my favorite mugs. It is a coffee mug. But we are being heathens today, and we are drinking out of a coffee mug, which happens a lot. Now let's see. I am using my Artify markers today, which I love very much. Just trying to see if, oh, that's just marker. I'm messy. All right, so I'm looking at my picture of my mountains, and I'm looking at these mountains, and I'm going to try. So I pulled out 3 colors of the blue. And I don't know what I want to do first. I'm trying to decide which parts of this are the darkest. Obviously, these are. Let's see. I did put my blotter page under here. See how the blotter page is stacking up. It's had some, I think I've changed it since the first one. Because I try not to leave them too long. If you wonder, like, I have a little, maybe you don't wonder, but I'm going to tell you anyway. I have a little, what do you call that? Basket. I have a cart here in my office / craft room, and on the side of it is like a paper file bin, you know, that hangs off the side. It's the size, it's like 9 by 13 size or whatever, and you can stick papers down in it. And I use that, and whenever I have something that misprints, or I have some cardstock that will not go through my printer. So, which is a shame, but things that you should check out when you're buying a printer. The next time I will try to make sure that my printer has a straight feed. Because, you know, most of these little home printers, they suck up the paper and it curves and goes upward. And that makes it harder for the paper, if it's thicker, to go through. And that's why you can't. But if it had a straight feed where the paper just went from one side to the other and didn't curve up and change direction, then that would probably make it easier for it to pick up the cardstock, the thicker cardstock. Right now, I think 65 pound is about as heavy as I can get in there. And I got some that was heavier, and it just didn't work. Well, that's a pretty color. I really like that color. Let's see. Now, I'm looking at my mountain shadows. So, question is, so these are on top, so these are going to be light. And maybe this one should be light, and then everything else should be dark. And if you haven't seen these, they have a chisel, and it has a really nice, the chisel almost looks like a blade, you know, on these. So there's a really nice chisel. They're like tapered at one end, and then they have this really nice bullet tip. Let's see. We'll do this over here. I think these blue mountains are going to be like the hardest part for me. I'm actually trying to do more. Like, I wanted to sit down and do like a video, because I realized the only videos I was doing are these 2 videos. Well, I haven't done a coloring video in a while, because I just figured nobody wanted to watch me color. But, you know, it's more than that. You know, I realized, like, I'm thinking about it wrong. And if I want to do it, I should just do it. But it's hard because I struggle a lot. And lately, I have actually watched people that said the same thing. They're like, oh, I know you don't want to watch me struggle to pick my colors. I'm like, that's what I say. So maybe I'm being too hard on myself, and I should just do a coloring chat. And then sometimes I can't, because I overthink everything. But sometimes I can't decide, well, which picture do I want to do? Do I want to do one that I'm doing a buddy color on and, you know, kind of ruin the surprise? Does it matter? Oh, it doesn't ruin the surprise for me, but for some reason, I think it'll ruin the surprise for somebody else. Hopefully my choice of colors, they all seem to go together. I'll probably take some pencil and maybe shade this in some spots when I'm done. So then the question is, I forget, how dark is this? How dark is this blue? Do I want to color them all the way? Maybe. I could try to lighten it up a little bit. Let's put some on here. And my fear is they're not going to look like mountains, but they will. I've also heard a lot of people lately say, you know, my picture goes through an ugly stage, and it is so true. Like, I'm going to use this to make sure I don't have anything on there. I don't think I do. I think it's blue if it is anything. We'll just fade out some of these colors, because you can use a blending marker and kind of lighten your colors. But what I was saying was, I heard some people say, you know, there's an ugly stage to your picture, and it is so true. Like, I hate most of my pictures. I mean, it kind of scares me if I like it when I'm doing it, because there most of the time it's like, oh, this is gonna look awful. And I've heard like several people say the same thing, like, your picture goes through an ugly stage, and it is really true. And so that's why you got to stick with it. Don't give up on it. I always try to finish them. The problem is when you're unhappy with it, you don't want to go back to it, and that kind of, so I'll use that to lighten that up and make it look a little bit more mountainy, which is what I wanted. And then we can always put some glittery stuff on there. I've got 2 pieces of paper. Oh, hey, there's the rest of my, the cardstock that I have is not the thickest, so I have 2 pieces under here. All right, so that looks cool. I have to decide. I'm probably going to use, these are the clouds, and I didn't pull out a gray. So let me look. Let me pull out a gray really quick. So those are my Cali arts. Where's my artifact? Okay. So I think for the clouds, I need something like a CG00, because I want something really light. Okay, let me grab it over here. I apologize. Usually I try to get these markers all picked out. Let's see. When I'm doing clouds, usually just put some up around the top. So use a very light gray. And then I'll put like sparkly on top of it or something. But I wanted to make sure I had like a bluish gray, something that looked kind of blue. Clouds are easy because to me they're like mostly white with a little dirty added into them. And then for some reason I always have to use clear glitter gel pen, like my Sakura Jelly Roll, which is my favorite. Or lovely. The Sakura Jelly Roll, which is like a clear. And sometimes I'll only do that. I won't put gray marker. I'll just, if it's a small thing, I'll just use it instead to outline them. Because I always feel like the clouds are magical. And I also don't know what color I want that to be. So that's another, like, what? Almost got these clouds done. Hopefully, by the time I'm done and I have all the stuff on them, they will look nice and wispy. Ooh, I'm kind of liking the mountains. Look at that. They're kind of coming out good. I'll probably shade that a little bit. I could shade it with this marker, like the dark one. No, that's not the dark one. This is the dark one. I could like shade it a little bit with this dark marker. Bring that in there. because it kind of would hang over. And then we'll go in maybe with some pencil later. We'll see how we feel. I'm still unsure. I think I want these to be, I know I want these to be purple, but so they would be, and hopefully, I don't think my colors are too, let me just see here really quick. I mean, it's a purpley red color. So let's see. I would want a lighter color to be on the tip, I assume, and the darker color to be underneath. We're committed now. There's no going back on this one. All right. So how is everyone? Have you experienced any teas? I don't know. I know some of you are coloring this book with me. So if you have enjoyed any tea in particular, let me know. Let me know what your favorite is. We can talk about tea. I always enjoy that. Like I said, I think I mentioned in the last video that I am working on doing a tea for my mom's garden club in 2 weeks. So I'm busy. I've got to finish that menu and get the rest of the teas that I need. Because you need to have a couple from all the groups, and it seems like a lot, but it's not. I mean, I just use my tea because, I mean, it's not like I'm supplying a restaurant or anything. You know, there are 9 tables with 4 chairs, so there's 36 potential people. And so, I mean, and not everybody is going to drink the same tea. So, when I get the menu done, like maybe I will have it done by the next video, so I can always show you what my tea menu is going to be. I have to pick out some paper to put it on or something, print it on. Print out some little cards with the websites where I get my tea for people. It should be fun. But yeah, let me know what you're drinking, what you're coloring, if you're coloring this, if you're doing something else. And I think I don't know if I mentioned that I'm thinking about continuing this, maybe not on a weekly basis, because every week is hard. But what do we want that to be? We want that to be something. This is where I'm struggling with my colors. I don't really want to add any more colors. And I may end up adding some gold. So I've got some red. So we will we regret this? Yes. Just do it, Tammy. It's not going to look bad. It's not like there's a set of colors. But I'm thinking about doing a color and chat every couple of weeks and do teas that aren't in this book or teas that I get. And I'm going to try to only do teas that it's possible for people to actually order and have. I don't think I'll regret that. Here we go. Let's see. Then, I have to decide what color I want that to be. I'll do this and this and this and that. I Okay, then we're gonna go back and use my two colors again, and we're gonna, I want that end, I want this end, and hopefully this won't look terrible when we are done. And I may put gold on top of that, depending. I have to look at the picture as a whole to decide what I want to do. I really love these markers. Okay. That. So I'm afraid I'm going to stop talking because I don't talk a lot when I'm coloring, obviously. And I'll just like sit here and color things. That's kind of neat. I kind of like that. I still got to decide what I want this whole big circle to be. That one's going to be tough. It may be that I make it like red and gold or purple and gold around the top. So we'll see. I'll probably do that last. And I think I need to make some, I think it's supposed to be a flower. So we will just make it so. It's supposed to be a flower. We'll make it a flower. I'm starting to get some ideas with this. I'm going to leave those dots white for a little bit because, I'm thinking. Let's see, we'll darken this up. Make that dark. Make this dark. And voila, there's one. Hopefully this will all come together. I really like my mountains. Oh, am I proud of myself? Yes. All right, let me go finish this and I will be back in a minute because it's going to take me a while. But we're going to base this in marker and then I might come back and show you if I'm adding sparkly stuff because everybody likes adding sparkly stuff, right? All right, I'll see you in a little bit. All right, I got all of this done. I was really trying to stick with my color palette. So now I decided to use this and I put some water in there for my gold color. And we're gonna get some gold and try very gingerly to put some gold color in here. I might need to use a water brush that has a little thinner thing, but we'll see. Brush. Might need to use a water brush that is a little bit thinner. Hey, use your words. Not very good at using words today. But you can see how glittery this tinge watercolor is. Tinge. Very nice. I liked this one because it came with a black glitter, which was really cool. So we're just gonna add some gold and make it fun. Because why not? Because we need a little sparkle. Never hurts to have a little sparkle, a little shine, right? It's gonna look pretty. And then I'm gonna put it down on the teacup. Also, trying not to make too much of a mess. The cool thing is, if I get it too much over the line, I should be able to pick it up with my water brush. I should just have like a clean water brush over here to pick up messies, you know. Oh, this one's gonna be a long one today since I'm doing all this. Holy Moses. But, you know, I gotta add some fun stuff in here. I was gonna put them on the flowers, but I don't think so. Let's see, now I wanna take it and try to make my teacup look all special. And for that, I really might need a smaller brush, but we'll see. I like to let the paint kind of guide itself sometimes. It's hard to explain. But sometimes you can fill a space by just letting it bubble. And then you don't have to get right to the lines. You just have to be careful with your water. That goes pretty fast. I'm trying to decide whether I want to make my handle sparkly or not. What I want to do with it. So we're going to do that. Do I want to make it blue? Do I want to make it sparkle? Well, we got to put some down here. Oh yeah, and then I was going to put some gold lines down the blue. It should look really good when it dries. Just add a little sparkle right there, or metallic, or gold, or whatever you want to call it. Gold. Just get it right in there. Hey, look at that. Okay, and then I was gonna put it in the center of the flowers because the whole cup is like that. And then I think I'm gonna have to let it dry, and then I'm gonna get a finer brush and I'm gonna draw gold lines where the black lines are. Yeah, okay. I'll do that, and then let's see. Okay, so I was going to, you know what? Let me let this dry and then I'll be back, because I know from past experience I will smudge it. So I'll be right back. All right, so I did that. I decided to just leave it, the cup, pretty much. I put the lines in the blue and I'm not sure I'm happy with it. Now what I'm doing is, this is actually, it's not labeled, but it's Master's Touch, pearlescent. You get them at Hobby Lobby. And I actually really like these. These are pretty nice for as cheap as they are. Let me see if I can find my swatch chart. Oh, here it is. I did this a long time ago. But you can see amongst the glare how nice and metallic-y they are. I mean, I really like them. There's 24. And it comes in a little palette like this, and this one just attaches to the bottom. I'm using the bottom, so I'm using this. I was going to use that. I'm kind of afraid that I'll really screw it up if I had some of that light yellow on there. But I was just going in here with a little bit of that. to a little bit of this to brighten up and kind of give it, because this has a little bit of yellow in it. And I thought I would see what it does, you know, add some mixed media to our picture. Let's see. And then I have to decide, I did these little tea drops or whatever they're supposed to be. I did them a little bit differently than the ones up there, and I can't decide if I want them all to be the same or not. That's minor, I guess. So I'll just add that in to do a little bit of shiny. Oops, missed that one. And then it'll just, when it dries, it'll brighten it up a little bit. And that is that. Now I did take some, I don't know if you can see it. So there's some Wink of Stella, and I used the white one. And I may have to decide. But I used, this one is actually white with silver as opposed to, I don't know where the clear one went. I have a clear one, but it has a clear cap. Oh, no, that one's white. Sorry. This is the white one. This is the clear one. You can tell the difference, but sometimes it's hard when you put them in to tell the difference between them if you have them both out at the same time. But I was using it, and this one's a pain in the butt because it has an internal cap and it keeps getting, it's unstuck itself from inside there. But anyway, I like that. I may go through and put some just up in here in the little swirl, some glitter gel pen, but it's done basically. So thank you for watching this edition of Time for a Cuppa, Celebration of Tea by Jen Racine. And we will see what's next week. Ooh, Earl Grey. That's one of my favorites. That is one of my favorites. And I might even have a rose teacup. Oh, that'll be fun. We'll get fancy. We'll get fancy. So, I think it's pretty. We'll let it dry completely and see if I want to add any embellishments or anything like that. But I'm happy with the way it came out. Thanks for watching. I hope you have a great day. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.